I only have about an hour to drive the automatic Nissan Z. That's okay with me because I'll have much more time to drive the manual, that would be the car I would be going for. But we have this all new 9-speed automatic in here. It's a Mercedes-Benz design that Jacko produces in Japan, and this thing is very quick. You have these large aluminum paddle shifters here. It feels like a dual clutch with how fast it downshifts. And it's just a lot of fun to play with these shifters, but I can't really get out of town to be able to use them. But what I can do is, I'm just cruising, put it into drive mode. There's only 2 modes, which is sport and standard, and I'm going to put it into sport, and I'm just going to hammer it. And then I have to hit the brakes. So the engine note sounds really good, not only from what we hear up here, but you hear most of the sound actually coming from the exhaust in this automatic model. And we're just going to do a U-turn here. Actually going to come to a complete stop. Maybe do a quick 0 to 60, not like torque braking it, just stopping on the road, and go. This also has a launch control mode, which there's 60 already, that was quick. So this has a launch control mode. So that was 0 to 60 in just 5.3. I'm at elevation. You can see the Rocky Mountains just outside Boulder. So like this got me to 60 really, really quick. And I bet it can go easily a full second faster than that if you use the launch mode. So yeah, the performance is there, no doubt, on this new Z. 400 horse, 350 pound-feet of torque. I love having these gauges up here. To be honest, I haven't really looked at them a whole lot because I've been in traffic, but it's cool to see the boost gauge. It's more of a cool factor than a usefulness factor. Like me seeing the turbo speed, which the Z has a turbo speed sensor on it that no other vehicle with this twin turbo V6 in the Nissan or Infiniti lineup have that turbo speed sensor. But anyways, we have that indicator here, and if I just pedal down, it's awesome. It feels so good. I feel like the traffic going into Boulder is like nothing right now, and there's no one behind me. All the traffic this time of day is leaving Boulder, and I'm going to probably make myself sick, but I'm going to stomp on these brakes. We have these Akebono brakes. I'm going to hammer down and go. God. And hammer again, but with the gas this time. Yeah, really unless you're doing the launch mode, there's 0 to 60 again, like 5.38 seconds, identical. But like this vehicle, once all that torque and power builds up, it really launches out and gives you a good surge. Peak power is over 6,000 RPM. So, a lot of people think torquey engines, they don't like to rev. That is not the case of this setup from Nissan. This engine, even though torque comes down, or peak torque comes in at under 2,000 RPM and holds true over 5,000 RPM, peak power, the 400 horse, doesn't come until like 6,400 RPM. So it makes ringing this engine out and hearing the screaminess of it just very, very satisfying. I love having climate control gauges, and these feel really solid down here. I love this kind of dark metallic finish that it has around them. It's kind of dark and hidden, but I don't mind that because if you're driving, you can easily feel which knob your hand is on. So I love the actual physical knobs here, as well as long live the knobs, right? We have the volume knob, a large volume knob here, as well as a tuning knob. Android Auto is playing. So it's just the experience that I would want to have in a sports car. Everything is very, very easy to work with. Everything's right at my fingertips. The armrest here is pretty comfortable. And I do have that manual parking brake here you could use this thing as a drifting car if you wanted to, but no, if I had this car, I'd be babying it pretty much. In terms of visibility, I actually feel like I have a good amount. Yes, there's going to be blind spots with this sloping roofline. To me, the most negative thing about the visibility is this huge mirror that's just taken out of the Nissan parts bin. I wish it was like bezel-less because it takes such a huge portion of my vision. Now, if you're shorter than me, that might not be an issue, but for me at 6'1", I don't feel like I'm sitting too tall in here, but this mirror is just taking a huge chunk of the windshield out of my sight. Now, if you haven't watched my manual transmission, I took it through these mountains. I want to take a little bit different route. with this automatic. It just didn't pan out that well because of the Boulder traffic, and it's just the kind of the time of day I'm driving. It's 4:30 right now, so not the greatest time, but could you use this as a commuter? So let's use this to advantage. Yeah, this car was very pleasant to be in stop and go traffic. The AC works great. The vents on the doors actually do a great job cooling me down, as well as the additional vents in the middle. The comfort is good in here. Yes, these seats hug you quite a bit, but I don't feel that, you know, around 190 pounds that they're too small for me. The downside for a commuter car though, you do have quite a bit of road noise coming, especially with these 19-inch performance wheels and tires. So that might be a pro to save some money and go with the sport model with the 18-inch wheels. So you get a little bit more tire thickness to handle maybe the road noise a little bit better. But you know, the new upgraded suspension on here, the dampening force has been reduced, so it's a much more pleasant experience to drive on a daily basis. Let's take this turn here around the bus, and there's speed limit. So but just cruising here around 45 miles an hour. Still get a decent amount of road noise, nothing to complain about though. And it handled the crappy roads here in Denver, or should I say Boulder, really, really well. Like, I'm surprised how well it's doing, given the fact that I do hear quite a bit of road noise. It does handle the bumps in the road, the cracks and the imperfections really, really well for a tightly constructed sports car. The steering wheel is a little bit on the thin side, but you know what? I hate to admit, but I do have small hands. It feels really good in my hands. And the cool thing about the steering wheel, the dimensions of it were pretty much designed after the R32 Skyline GTR. So I love that nostalgic piece built into the steering wheel. Back in the brakes hard. This guy's like, I don't know if the Z is stopping. He gave me a thumbs up. So that's the interesting thing is and maybe it's just young people, but I also had a really old guy see this vehicle and he couldn't stop looking at it. The sweet old man taking a walk in the park. Hopefully I got that on film for you guys. I've been driving a ton of cars, and maybe it's just because I'm in Boulder. Maybe I don't know the community here, but I've been getting so many looks in the short amount of time I've been in this car. Yes, it's red, that helps, but people haven't seen the new Z, and it's a beautiful car. It's sick as hell. If you guys want that curb appeal, I know if I owned this car, just looking back at it would make me so happy every time I got out of it. Looking at it sitting in my garage, or looking at the driveway, or looking at it, I don't know, at a restaurant as I walk away, like that. This vehicle does have that sexy curb appeal. And like, as much as the Supra performs at a high level, this vehicle does too, and can trade blows with it probably, or at least, you know, talk about the same sort of, they can be in the same ring together essentially. This vehicle to me just looks so much better. It looks like a Z car. It looks like 7 generations were melded together into this modern masterpiece of a design. And some people might not like the front grille, but it's functional, and that's what feeds this very powerful and hot twin turbo V6. I'm okay with, you know, the large square grille. It'll probably grow on me, but I like, you know, the ovals that are inside of it to kind of break up the gaping mouth. But I think I'm going to sign out from this automatic transmission Nissan Z. I couldn't really put it through the paces with the time given to me, as well as the rush hour that I'm put in right now. But stay tuned, because I will get this vehicle in my press fleet, whether it's the 6-speed or the 9-speed automatic. I will get it for a full week. I'll be able to tell you guys fuel economy things I find out that I really like, maybe some things I don't like so much. I can't really do that with just an hour in the car, other than I'm just excited that Nissan has brought the Z back in a time of, I guess, uncertainty with the combustion engine, and they're going full ham, twin turbo V6, 400 horsepower, starting at around $40,000. That is ballsy. And you know, this one is in the low 50s, and it's going to be fetching that price easily from the consumer. It's a fantastic handling, braking, accelerating sports car. But most importantly to me, this car just looks so effing good. and it makes me happy to be seen in it. And I'm not one to have people look at me, but this vehicle is that. Anyway, signing out from Boulder, Colorado before I get too lost in Buffalo town. Go Cornhuskers, by the way. Anyways, don't want to say that too loud. Oh, brakes. You know, the emergency braking system reminded me well, and there's plenty of more brakes for me to stop. Anyways, I got to end it there so I can safely get back to the hotel and get into the manual transmission model. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize if I wasn't able to give you a more in-depth driving experience, but hopefully you're able to get some entertainment value out of this, out of the new 2023 Nissan Z Twin Turbo V6. Signing out. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day and peace out.